Hello and welcome to my another video of Division 2 gameplay. This is Victor and thanks for coming. So today we are continuing with our road to DPS build. But today I'm going to try something very different. So as you can see, I am standing in front of the Air and Space Museum mission, and again in order to get the highest kind of like the level of loot, I am going to use heroic as the highest level of difficulty in this mission. But as you can see, if you pay attention to what I've been doing, I am particularly looking for loot that is a gear mod because I want to build up on my critical hit damage as much as possible. But today, as you can see, that the target loot actually is called Eclipse Protocol. So why am I doing this in this video? So I'm going to tell you a very interesting thing that I've been trying. So I am trying a very different build today. So I watch a YouTube channel. I think it's not this one. Sorry, YouTube channel that talk about using the it's basically about how do you build up your SHD level as quickly as possible. And the reason I want to do that is that if you take a look at the SHD level, one of the attribute that you can increase is called critical hit damage, right? And this is exactly what I'm trying to do because this is where I can increase the critical damage no matter what build I have for my agent. So right now it is about 10.4. It is exactly 10.4%. And the maximum value is 20%. So what it means is that when I hit this, the max of the cap of this one, I will get like an additional 20% of critical hit damage on my stats. So as you can see right now, it's not the build that I'm using, but so I want to do that. And the YouTube video that I watch is that there's a way to quickly gain level by playing a particular kind of mission activity. Actually, it's called activity. It is the I think it's resource convoy or something. So intercept your enemy's resource convoy quickly, use only skills to finish them. And the skill actually is not this one. The skill that you are supposed to be using is the cam launcher. So the cam launcher, and there's a particular one called Firestarter. Essentially, you send a mist of like inflammable gas or fume, and then you can light them on fire. All the area that has the fume will actually got set on fire. So essentially, you're creating fire damage more than anything else. But to do that, the gear set also needs to have certain attributes so that it allows you to maximize damage created by your skill, which is the Eclipse Protocol. So throughout the gameplay, I have a bunch of those like skill set, right? So in order to enjoy the maximum benefit of having this gear set, is you need to get 4 pieces of this gear. So right now I have 3. Right, and for the chest piece, I want to use something else, which also gives me some skill, maximizes the skill and whatnot, but a little bit of protection with Unbreakable. Here I have another exotic called Waveform, and the funny thing about Waveform, or the special thing about Waveform, is that it can stack up the skill damage, and it got transfers from one to the other one. So as you can see, my skill actually both of them are offensive. So this one creates a fire, attack enemies. Also, this is a striker drone, also attacks enemy. So it actually helps with that, this exotic. So that's why I'm keeping here. That being said, for the 4th piece, I actually need to have my knee pad to be the Eclipse gear. Right now, I do not have an Eclipse knee pad, so that's why I'm here, and I'm trying to get this gear for the Eclipse knee pad so that I can finish my set for building up the SHD level, which in turn build up my critical hit damage. But it is still work in progress, so I don't really use that. I'll show you how I did it later on. But right now, I'm trying another build. So again, for DPS. Normally, I would use this one. So you see that DPS I've explained earlier, basically is all red. Right, and using an assault rifle. Recently, I watched another video about using SMG in particular, the Dark Winter. So what Dark Winter does is that you can actually get 50% of critical hit damage for a short while if you kill an enemy with critical hit skill or critical hit. So it means that you immediately get a boost in crit hit damage. So right now I say I have 121, which is not too bad, but imagine that if I kill an enemy, then I get like a boost of instant boost of 50%. That means 170. So it's a very interesting build. And when I was playing it, I realized that in order to really benefit from this SMG build, I really need to build on the Hunter's Fury, which I have been using for a long time. So if you don't know, for Hunter's Fury, if you get 4+ pieces, you get a special buff or debuff against the enemy so that they got disoriented. And if you have like less pieces, the benefit is that you have increased shotgun damage, increased SMG damage, which is why we use SMG and shotgun, which very well with Dark Winter, which is by itself an SMG. So here I'm switching my typical go-to rifle with the Baker's dozen with another hunter, another shotgun. So it allows me to actually benefit more from the 15% additional shotgun damage. So that's that. This actually I can change the armor on kill, but because it itself with 3 pieces I can have armor on kill of 20%, but for a little bit of safe side, which I will explain later on, I do that. With the chest piece, I decided to use another one that really increases my SMG damage, so that's why I have this one. I think later on I'll switch the Memento into another Sokolov Concern, which allows me to have another 15% critical hit damage increase as well. But it is a build that allows me to do a little bit of like DPS damage, but then as you can see later on in the video, it really changes the pace of the game because of the way I play it using SMG. The first requirement of playing this SMG DPS build is that I really need to be close to the enemies, and the reason why is that you will only be able to get the debuff against the enemies when they are 15 meters close to you, and you'll see a little icon to tell you that. To make it a little bit better, I actually am using what's this one? Yeah, the signature weapon, which is I forgot the name for this specialization. But what it allows me to do, it gives me an extra ballistic shield that allows me to use my SMG and also increases the damage for the user. So it's really good for me to boost up the damage and then get into close combat, because when I go close to the enemies to enjoy the 15 meters debuff, that means that I'm close to the enemy, and then I need to have some protections, because right now I don't really have Unbreakable. My armor is actually relatively low, and I need to be careful, so that's why. So here I'm not like, I've tried it, it works fine, but sometimes if I'm careless, I'm not careful, then my agent will actually die in the mission, because after all it's a heroic harder mission. And like I said, if you play carefully, you can actually finish a heroic no problem. Except that if the agent dies, then you have to almost restart from the very beginning. So we don't want to waste our time, so we'll try to be a little bit more careful, but you know, sometimes it happens. Anyway, I'll show you how I play Airspace Museum with this interesting, slightly different SMG build with like kind of almost equal, if not more, DPS in fact. And the playstyle is very different. I hope you enjoy that and give you some ideas of 1, how to use this build, and 2, how I play or approach this mission. Okay, so let's do this. Alright, so first thing you want to do is make sure that you have full ammo, because SMG is very high fire rate. You will lose ammo even faster than your AR. So you can see that the SMG is like really fast. And with the shield, if I'm facing one enemy at a time, I'm actually pretty good. So in this mission, one very important thing is that the enemy here, they actually have rocket launcher, and they can one-shot you. So that's why I want to use them as much as possible, as quickly as possible. For these guys, you can use the environmental thing to light them on fire first, and then you go around. You're basically circling around, and I'll explain to you why I need to circle around. And it has to do with the shield. So as you can see, the shield is unidirectional, so it doesn't protect you what's behind you. So what it means is that even though it protects you mostly from the front, your behind is still, your back is all still exposed. So by going around, you are by circling around, you're basically just clearing your enemy like on the edge, so your back will not be flanked by other enemies. So that's the idea of going or circling around. So the first thing to do with this kind of mission using your shield is like this. So you circle around. Now the next thing, as you might have noticed, is that the reason why I'm using a shield is I get closer to the enemy. You will see that there's a little like icon. That's the right here, and but it's red. It's like you see green here. That's a Hunter's Fury debuff activating. So we'll see that. I'll show you in just a bit again.
True Sun's munitions detected.
So over here, again, I will start my drone, and then I'll go in. I start with this one, goes like kind of like on the side, so as long as there's no one behind me, and then I finish the enemies fast enough, you see that it's actually a really effective thing. So you see that little thing on top of their head? That's the debuff.
We need to figure out what they're doing here. See if you can find
so,
any intel on the operation.
I think it makes, I think if I remember correctly, it makes my weapon 20% more damage. It's quite nice. Anyway, so that's the general approach for doing that. And of course the Strider Drone again is helping me to distract the enemies. And you can see that it's actually really like with the debuff, with the critical hit damage, 50% increase if I had a critical hit before. It really shreds the enemy. So here, usually what I do is I throw a grenade, kind of like distract them a little bit, and then come in here. You see that I was shooting against the elite enemy, and they just like their armor just gets shredded. But it will only be effective if I'm close enough, because otherwise the SMG doesn't have really high damage. It's like usually it's like about 100%. Sorry, 100k, and you don't really get like that much of damage. So the damage comes from the fact that one is a very high firing rate machine, and
True Sun's reinforcements incoming.
Keep moving. We can clear the next one.
it has a really high firing damage. This Dark Winter particular has I think it's 1200 rounds per second or minute. So see that, like if I'm so the problem with this build is that my armor is really low, so I need to be very careful about this. Like as I said, if my agent dies in the heroic, I will have to restart from the very beginning. So this is actually what happens in this mission. I did not plan for that, but let's start it again. Fortunately, we only started this game like early, so we don't lose a lot of our progress. But this is like the price you pay. And I think in some way it's worth it, because you get the highest highest valued loot. So I think it's still worth it, even though like you gotta be careful. So once again, the idea is that you try to get close to your enemies so that the debuff happens. And also the SMG also has a relatively low accuracy, actually really low accuracy. I think the lowest is the shotgun, and then followed by the SMG. So the accuracy usually is pretty low, so that kind of compensates for the super high RPM. So you want to maximize the, if your bullet doesn't land, no matter how high the damage it makes, it doesn't really matter. So that's why you want to be careful with that. Alright, quick. You see that, like what's behind me is like bad. So the good thing about Hunter's Fury is if you kill your enemies fast enough, at least it gives you a little bit of armor, because it's 20% gives you. So if you kill them fast enough, then you will be able to, heal yourself, your armor quick enough. So I think we got we actually have a Oh, nice. So we do we actually get what we want from the beginning. Is we want to have a that Eclipse gear knee pad. So I actually have that, but I still need to try that gear set a little bit. So I'm not gonna use it here, but I'm gonna keep it for now. But I'll be trying this SMG DPS build for this mission. Again, like there's a higher risk if I don't play it carefully, because this whole set is built around being close to your enemies, and also like I think in some way I'm used to having I'm used to using unbreakable, so I kind of rely on a little bit on that to like if my armor breaks, I still will be able to save myself for the second wind, right? So here it's not like that. Let me try to be careful, a little bit more careful this time. But as you can see, if I'm in range, the elite actually got killed in like one clip, one magazine. I did add 20. I did add 20 rounds in my magazine as a mod, with the cost of having I think 10% reduction in reload speed. I think it's kind of like the price that I'm willing to pay, because if I don't need to reload, then I just empty my entire clip, and then I will still be able to finish the enemy. So I don't actually need to wait for a quick reload. So it's actually one of the reasons why I decided to do that. Alright, so let's be careful, but also at the same time be a little bit quicker. For the red enemies, typically, unless they are like these guys, you can actually just like empty your clip no matter how far you are to finish them.
Keep moving. Still got 2 halls to clear.
So that's that. Also take advantage of having the memento, so I'm gonna pick up those tokens. Right. The other part, this one actually, let's see if I can change it. So the reason why I want to change it is that this particular build is really good for close range. So if I only need close range attack, then this is very good, because it's shotgun and also the SMG. SMG has a really low accuracy. For anything that is ranged, which I'll show you in the next part of this game, I usually just use a ranged weapon. So let's just switch to this one, and I'll explain to you why once we go into here. So this is the second section here, which has the telescope. Now, so there will be snipers coming up from here, and they are like always behind cover. So the SMG isn't really helpful. Also the shotgun really wasn't really helpful. So I either have to switch to a ranged weapon, or I'm gonna just switch to my typical DPS build, which actually was built for mid and long range attacks. So that's why I'm doing this here. So if I want, I can switch to longer range rifle, so I can just do a million damage, so it's not bad. So that's what I'll do. If I want to have a quick burst mid range, I will use my assault rifle with the strain as its cannon. So the longer I press the button, the more damage it makes for critical hit damage. As you can see, it's doing quite well. So there will be like about 2 waves of enemies here. Keeps coming from here. So just finish them. There was like about 3 waves from the for the snipers on the upper floor. So we finished them. So we are safe for now. And we'll just clear this, and then you see that this door is going to be ready. Alright, so this is this region that you really need a range, either a ranged weapon or mid and long range build. So since we've been trying to use the this fun little SMG build, so let's switch back to this one, and we'll continue with that. Again, this SMG build is particularly good for mid and short range attack, primarily 15 meters. that's the range, because you really need to have that Hunter's Fury debuff active when you're using the SMG. Otherwise, it doesn't really like make too much of a damage. So here again, you do that, and then try to have your enemies in front of you, and go around when you need to like let your shield to regen a little bit, make use of the environment. Alright, so this is like what you do something. Alright, so that's that. That's one. So our shield is down, so I need to be more careful now. Also, it's kind of bad because my striker drone is not happening. So what I normally do is that now it's time to use my other weapon. So it's again a short range, but the good thing about the short range weapon is that it's a shotgun. It makes a lot of damage, but then it is also an exotic that will actually immobilize my enemies after the third or fourth shot. So it's a shock effect. So now with my my drone ready again, so I'm gonna switch back to this, and let's see what we got here. So I don't need this. There's another Eclipse. So do I need the chest piece? I probably don't need that. So I'm just gonna get rid of that, get rid of that. So moving on to the next stage. So the next section, I should say. The next section, again, you go around.
As evidenced by these.
As you go around, the enemies will be spawning here. So be careful behind you, because later on the enemies will also spawn from that thing above. So I probably will die. I think I will die, yeah. So I shouldn't actually do that. I was hoping that I would be able to what was I trying to say? Yeah, I will be able to use the Hunter's Fury. Another specialty is that if I use my weapon to kill an enemy, then everyone around them will be disoriented. So that was what I was hoping for, but apparently I wasn't fast enough. So let's see if we actually have to restart from the very beginning, or we'll be able to start like midway in the game. Yeah, we actually have to start from the beginning. So let's keep doing that and see how many times do we need to restart. At least I got what I had, what I came for, which is the Eclipse thing. So that's fine. Again, the idea is to use a shield to protect you, and then use the strong to distract your enemies, and then you circle around so that you don't get flanked. Alright, so I think we are at this point. Alright. So I'm gonna use this one. It's good. So going on. Also another problem with the shield is that you are relatively slow. Not close. Alright, so we are here. That's done. And then we are down to this one. So this guy is this long red, so we don't really need to care about the range. Alright, so that's done. So moving back to the stage. So if you really want to be careful, one thing you want to do is you wait until your striker drone actually, times out, and then you wait for it to reload. Then you will get the entire fresh drone. So to save us some time, we'll try to keep moving and hope that our drone actually will last until the end. Alright. Alright. So one down. You see that if it is like against one enemy, this build is actually really good. You basically just melt their armor, and then once their armor is down, they have no chance. Alright. So back to here. always reload or restock, because your SMG will run out of bullet very quickly if you keep shooting, which you have to, right?
Tag anything useful, announce it in a recovery team later.
And blow the shit out of anything too
So
dangerous.
once again, let's throw a grenade. Alright, so that's done. Get close. Not that close. Another thing about this specialization is that I actually have like 20% more fire damage, so which is kind of useful, especially when you know, I accidentally step into a fire, like what I just did. Okay, so there's this person here. Who's that? Oh, my shield is almost down, so gotta be careful. Let it regenerate a little bit. There's one person over here, I think, hiding. There we go. Make sure that my back is not being franked. It's a little bit troublesome to kind of like reorient myself so that I don't get franked, but I think that's you know, that's necessary, right? You know, so the idea in this region is actually shoot these 4 machines while, you know, staying alive. And then there's reinforcement coming in.
My armor shot
Alright, I think we're good. So what we need to do is I think just pick up this. I'm gonna destroy this. And
Truson's reinforcements
oh,
incoming.
this is not what I
Keep
wanted.
moving. We need to clear the next hall.
Yep. So we'll just wait a little bit. I think I can just use the shield a little bit and flank them on the other side. Maybe that will work. Alright, so that's done. I think there's only like 2 of them, right? So we'll just cool. Alright, so just wait for the fire to just, you know, get done. Reload, and like I said, for the next region, better to change into like a ranged weapon. So which I happen to have a ranged DPS set, so I'm just gonna quickly change into this one. All right. Am I? Oh, I forgot to destroy one of them, I believe. So sorry about that. I'll go back here, destroy this guy.
You're done fucking things up there.
Keep moving. You still got 2 halls to clear.
Alright, so
Hostile radio intercepted.
Division's on my 6! So cut through the planetarium.
so let's throw this at the door, which is where they will spawn.
Earth. Third rock sun. Power home.
Then
Not
there
the
comes
center of
enemy.
So far, the only planet that can
That's
support
done, and then there will be
life
the second wave of the
vast
sniper. Sometimes you can actually light up this that explosive so that they are caught on fire. Light up the second one, and oh, I want to start the drone as well.
We
Why
know
not,
that
right?
Mars once
Just
had
use the
vast
drone to help us a little bit.
that many of us
So there's one down. And from now on, there will be enemies coming down. But since we already set up a signal hut, so we can look for the sound, and we know that they are here. So we can like, okay, well, safe and shoot the enemies coming out. Well, okay, on the top one, there will be the 3rd round of the top. So we can focus our firing over there. So again, if I want to open round, so for the range, I can actually switch to this one. Makes more damage, it's lower firing rate, but it's quicker in a sense. There we go. So there's one more here, so we can just maybe go a little bit closer. while the striker drone is distracting him. There we go. Alright. So let's switch back to our SMG build. I know that it's actually kind of like volatile, but since we started with that, we might as well keep using it. So let's just right now, since the drone is reloading, I will not be able to switch, I believe. So I'm gonna just wait for the drone to reload, and then we'll switch back to the SMG build. Alright, drone is reloaded, so I'm gonna switch back to this guy and see if we can do it this time. Alright, so again, just gotta be careful. Gone. Gotta be careful. And I think I'm gonna die. Come on. Ah. I think I should keep my should probably keep my other build here, because I have the unbreakable. So since I started the video, I don't really want to pause it right here. So I'm gonna finish this mission. Sorry for taking so long. I did not expect that, but you know, sometimes it happens like that, right? So. Alright, so let's try it again. Reload. I don't think I need to reload, but well. Okay, so run.
The ramp to the parking garage looks like your best way in.
Stun. Run around. So you see that if I'm close enough, one unload of the SMG clip can actually finish everyone, and the shield definitely have saved from that particular rocket launching, so it's definitely useful here. Cool. So let's do it quickly. Make sure that I bring my drone with me. Sometimes it gets stuck. Nope. And sometimes some agents also get stuck.
True Sun's munitions detected.
Alright. So we have like half of the lifetime drone. So let's just. Alright. So done. Go around.
We need to figure out what
there we
they're
go.
doing. See if you can find any intel on their operation.
So see, if done well, they
Seems like
basically
these
have
guys
no
are solid at
chance.
repurposing anything
So
they
that's
can
actually a
use.
kind of like interesting
The crafty bastards. I'm giving
setup. Definitely got to be careful with the bag if you're surrounded by a lot of enemies. What else that? You know what? Next time when I try that region that my agent died so many times, I would try to switch to more crowd control weapon, which is a
Tag anything
shotgun.
useful, announce them in a recovery team later.
And blow
So
the shit
the
out of
useful thing
anything
about
too
shotgun
dangerous.
is that it really can land on the enemies, and then oops, can I go in? Oh!
Serious trauma detected.
Oh, I got flanked. Huh. Oh well. So maybe I'll switch to this one. Let me just reload. So I get my armor back, and switch to this. You know what? Let me just pick this up while I'm still here. So this is useful because it stuns the enemy. So I think it's going to help me a lot when I'm fighting against like groups of enemies. But now we'll switch to SMGs.
Target has a shield.
Alright. that we don't. Okay, why are you shooting? Like, I thought my drone is actually distracting, huh? Weird. So we have.
Get away from me!
Okay. Alright. Second part, reinforcement coming in.
Reinforcements incoming.
Keep moving. We need to clear the next wall.
Alright.
When you're done fucking things up there,
Keep moving. We still got 2 halls to clear.
So, right now my drone is still pretty active, so let's try having this SMG build to see if we can actually. It will take a little bit longer, it's not
Radio
impossible.
intercepted.
Provisions on my 6! So cut through the planetarium. We gotta secure that ordnance.
Only now.
Can I just throw a grenade? Probably not.
Third
Why is it
rock
not
from the
doing
sun.
anything? Yeah.
Our home may not be the center.
Well, at least my drone can help.
So far, it is the only planet that
The
can
thing is that the
support
drone
life
needs to
as we
know where
The vast
the
reaches of
sniper is
space.
before they can start the
Rational
attack.
to think that our little planet is the only place capable of creating and sustaining life. We
Then
know
there's
that
another
Mars
set of
once had
snipers.
that many of the elements could only be created in the of a supernova.
You see, like when when it is not in range, the damage is actually not very impressive. But once you're
Organisms to evolve. To contact living beings like
But once you're in range, like this SMG is going to be really good. So that's the problem that I have with like when you're stuck in this like ranged. So when you are stuck like in this situation where the enemy is above, and then your range weapon, you don't have a range weapon, and then and they're hard to aim, and that's where this short range arrangement is not very effective. Okay, so one down, one to go, and then a bunch of like lower floor enemies, and then we are.
for millennia. We are only now beginning
Alright,
to
so let's see what if we get anything useful here. We spend so much time. No.
The third rock from the sun. Our home may not be the center of our universe.
Okay.
So far, it is the only planet that can support life.
Alright. It's going up.
To think that our little planet is the only place capable of creating and sustaining life.
Okay, so I'm pretty low on ammo, so I gotta be careful. Try to be careful this time. So my shield is down,
Medical assistance
and
needed.
I'm gonna switch. What am I doing? He's down. Oh, that was close.
Yeah, wing him!
One down. Another one down. Down. Just one more to go. Just run here. Here. Alright. down to one person. Okay, let's just shield up. There we go. Alright. So where's our drone? There we go. Hello. Too slow.
Up to 1/3 of the Martian surface has been covered by ocean. Martian exploratory craft
It's
has
not
sent
good.
back evidence of
Go back down back a little bit.
ranging from gullies and dry river systems to what appear to be ancient lake beds. There are also minerals present on the surface of Mars that could only have been formed in a liquid water environment. Today, water can be found
Back
on
for
Mars
this guy.
largely isolated at the Martian North Pole. Although small quantities exist as water vapor in the thin Martian atmosphere, or as brines in the Martian soil.
Mobilizing target!
Alright. Not good enough. Not good enough. Alright, so one more. And what? He just ran outside? Huh, interesting. Guess we gotta go back. Okay, just you and me. Oh, uh-oh.
Serious trauma detected.
There we go. So another thing about Hunter's Fury is that when you kill an enemy, your health will be back 100%. So if you're quick enough, then you should be able to go through that. So that's what happened just then. All right.
Mechanical components detected.
Agent, advise scan the parts.
Alright, so there's one behind. I don't want to walk in fire, which I think I actually can. So another thing I can do is I will get this and switch back. Reload and go down. Normally I would just stay upstairs if I have a ranged weapon, but since I don't, I'm gonna just do here. You see that, like, the cool thing about the shield is that this particular shield will increase the damage relative to the number of enemies in front of you. Oh, wait. There we go. Alright, so that's why if you're in front of a crowd and then you have a shield and they are only in front of you and you're quick enough, it's actually a very effective way to get your enemy done. So anyway, so in here you have 3 parts you need to scan. So this is the first one, pick up some stuff. The second one, go around, actually it's on the other end, so it's here, so scan the other part. And then the third part is way back here. So you see that, like, little rocket disassembled. So you go to scan here. You don't have to stand right in front of it.
Link up with
So
them
there's
and
a
you'll be done
second
there.
round enemy coming in.
Components identified. Suggested use. Missile construction.
So you can
Using the casing to
do
remove
this.
They can rig it with a warhead and some means of propulsion. They wouldn't need to be inside the White House or stuff.
Kinda goes without saying, but if you see any missiles lying around, make sure
Alright.
they can never, ever be
So
used.
we just finished this. So let's wait a while for the drone to reload and see what we got here. It's not too bad, but I already have something I have, so I'm gonna get rid of this. So get rid of this. So then we will bring us to the last. Oh, sorry, not this door. This one, the last part of this mission. Sorry it took you so long, but I mean you get the gist of it.
Database
So
hatch indicates
you interact with this guy. disable the
That
this,
would be the missile then.
and then
Please neutralize that fucking
it
thing by
will
any means necessary.
go into the last part. So I'm gonna
Damn
restock
it.
everything,
The salvage crew
have one
just ran
armor.
into those reinforcements. They need backup.
So the first thing what I normally do is I run around here, start preparing a grenade and throw it here. And start my drone. Start my shield, go around. And finish. There's about 3 to 4 waves of enemy coming in. So I'm gonna finish them one by one and then force. So why am I not? That's not what I want. So let's change her to this one. And use of the special ammo in the meantime while my drone is distracting him. It's like let's go this way a little bit closer. This guy's done. Let's go back to here. Finish the rest. Alright, so we are down to one person here. And we might have another wave, or we don't. Okay, cool.
Left a big stockpile of ordnance.
Nice.
Throw in the fact that the settlements can scavenge those workbenches
See if we
and
get
tools,
anything useful.
and I'd say it's been a pretty good day.
Let's compare with what we have. So let's get rid of this guy. And then reload so we can compare with our other stock. In the meantime, you can see that there's a little box here. It's let the graphic to load, but it's those fraction box that I've been talking about. So I have a bunch of keys right from other missions and whatnot. So let's take a look at what we can get from here. It's actually not always the best. Oops, I did not do that. I mean to do that. Oh, I did not mean to do that either. So it's not. It doesn't actually always give you the best loot, so I don't really need this. I need to make it not favorite. I'm gonna destroy this. And also I have something here that I picked up. I think it's this guy. Yeah, there we go. I really don't need this one, so we're just gonna remove that. Alright. So while we're doing this, I can switch to my other thing that I'm building, which I call it SHD level up or something, and then we can compare. So let's go back to here to see if I have something better. So this is the yeah, I actually don't have it, so I might as well kill it. Skin range, I don't need this. How about here? So here I have a backpack, which I have here, skill tier. I don't really use the repair skill, so I can just throw it away. This one I don't need. This one also don't need. Alright. Alright, so that's the build that I'm trying to do. That's the build that I was using. It's not the best build, I think. But it's a very different playstyle. As you can see, if you are really into like close quarter combat and stuff with shield, it is actually not a bad build. But as you can see, that you gotta be very careful not having enemies flanking you, and the armor is actually not as good. But if you're quick enough, you will be able to pull it off, and it's actually quite satisfying when you see your enemies, you know, armor got shredded. So I'll show you. See that it just dropped like crazy, and the red enemies have almost no chance. Right, so that's the usefulness of this this SMG build. It's quite fun to use, but you gotta be, like I said, you gotta be careful. So I will just do it for fun. I'll just, as you can see, my character died several times because I was careless. But I mean, it can be done with a little bit of practice, and it's just a really fun build to have. So anyway, thank you for watching. Sorry for taking a little bit too long. My agent died a few times, and I was forced to restart the mission like 3-4 times. Did not expect that, but at the very least, I finished the mission. So, so that's that. Anyway, so thank you again for watching. I hope to make more videos for you, and I will see you next time. Bye.